So I was diagnosed with ADD about 5, 6, 7 years ago. Anyone who has worked with me, dealt with me, lived with me over the course of my life knows uh, that is a proper diagnosis. A lot of people are like, "Is ADD real?" I'm like, I mean, yeah, it's real. My biggest weakness that comes from it is executive functioning, or a lack of executive functioning skills. I am scatterbrained. I am terrible about transitioning. I am terrible when it comes to uh, figuring out. I know how time works, but figuring out how to apply being on time and time boxing things, it's just my brain doesn't like it. And I am on medicine for it. I've been on medicine for quite some time. It's very helpful, Concerta and Ritalin. My doctor says I chew through the Concerta so much that by the end of the day I need a little kicker, which is a tiny bit of Ritalin. So it's very helpful, but it's very real. And there are good things about ADD, and there are some really shitty fucking things about ADD. But it's a real thing, and I wanted to make this video because at first I started off like going, I'd like to make a video now that I've had both consoles. I mean, I have the Switch and PC and VR as well, but the main ones that people talk about in terms of which should I buy, the Xbox Series X or S, but I have the X and the PS5, which I'm also fortunate that I have both. At first I was going to make a video that was just like, oh, here after a year of owning them both, this is the one I recommend. But then as I was going through the reason I recommend what I'm going to recommend, which is the Xbox Series X over the PlayStation 5, it does occur to me that a large reason for that is because my enjoyment of the Series X is really it's a great system. They're both great systems, but it really has a lot to do with the fact that I have ADD as well. And so some of the things that I consider just brilliant additions to the game playing ecosystem, which you can only get on the X, are things that maybe if you're neurotypical, as they call you freaks, and you don't have ADD, perhaps these won't be as important to you. Or even if you have ADD, but you have different manifestations of it. Not everybody has the same 7 or 8 bullet points of, you may have better executive functioning than I do, but I might have better transitioning than you do, or what have you. So, but yeah, let me just show you, because it really has come to light this last week when I've been playing some of the new games that have been dropping. So I want to show you, and again, both systems are great. I'm not like slagging on the PS5. I have it. I will show it to you in a second. It does something better for ADD people than me, than the Xbox does. But I want to just show you this real quick because it is such a good, example of what I'm talking about. So if we go to the Xbox, there's two things the Series X does better than PS does. So one is quick resume, right? And if you're neurotypical, I have a lot of people, whenever I rave about quick resume, they say, I only play one game at a time. And in my head, I'm going, that must be nice for you. But for me, I jump around. I get stuck in a game. I die in a game. I've been playing a game for like 8 hours. I want to try something else. Or there may just be days where I know I want a game. I don't know what I want. And it's almost like, back in the day when you're listening to radio in the car and you're messing with the dial, like I'm looking for a song I like, right? Well, Quick Resume, this is GTA Definitive Edition that just launched this week. Quick Resume allows my brain to be a lot happier with this process. So this is the load up of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and I want to show you, once we're loaded, how quick we move into various games, right? Automatically, it's crazy to me how much better the load times are compared to PS2. No shit, Jaffe, but it's like Grand Theft Auto used to be that. What a nightmare to sort of boot the game up and have everything load. Okay, but here we are in GTA, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's drive around. And I'm going to tell you how this actually makes games better too, but I'll get to that in a second. All right, so we're driving around. Do I have a gun? I don't have a gun. I was going to do a drive-by. All right, so cool. There we go. We're doing that. It's like, yeah, I'm kind of bored of that. Let's go to Forza, right? So I don't know what the time is, 6 seconds, 8 seconds, but here we are, and we're back into Forza. Right? I mean, almost it's insane that I was driving that and now I'm driving this. Right? It's just fucking crazy, okay? And then I'm like, yeah, I'm not really in the headspace for Forza. Let's go to Doom, right? I mean, this is just nuts. I grew up with Atari cartridges and then the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo cartridges where it was literally a little faster than this, where it was just like, you know, you take it out, you put it in. I don't want to play this. You move on to the next fucking thing, right? I mean, look at the speed. Look at the fucking speed. How is this happening in my life? This is amazing to me, right? Yeah, it might be amazing, but I'm bored of that. I want to go back to Grand Theft Auto. Okay, you sure, Jeffy? Yeah, I'm sure. Boom, quick resume, right? So part of it, my ADD brain, is that it allows me to really enjoy. I mean, look at that, man. But the other thing that's really cool about this for ADD folks is that there's a lot of genres that I have gotten a lot more interested in that, you know, than I was in the past, because the return time to play when you die, like if your brain works even slightly similar to mine, you play a game, you die, and you disengage for a moment, right? And there's that load time that a lot of games really it cuts me off from the experience, and that gives me anywhere from, depending on the game and the system, you know, 8 seconds to 70 seconds to sort of get distracted by something else. And so that's why games like Demon Souls, or even like open world racing games, where the load between fucking up and going back was longer than like on a track-based racing game where everything was loaded at once, and a reset was just almost instant. I have found myself playing a lot more types of games, both on Xbox and on PlayStation, because of this feature that I'll show you. Let me kill my guy. Let me find someone to kill my guy. But the ability... Okay, go ahead. Kill me. The speed that you come back to life in with is really satisfying. All right. Oh, no, I'm having a hard time. Let me try to fight. I died. All right, now watch the speed. Load checkpoint, and we are, I don't know, it's connecting, and we are back in the game, right? I mean, that's insane, okay? Now, PlayStation actually does that a little faster that I'll show you in a second, but I want to, so there's that mixed with the ability to jump between games, and then when you throw in Game Pass, it really is an ADD fan's delight, because you've got the ability to jump around to 4 to 8 depending, or 4 to 6 depending, quick resume games. Not every game has quick resume yet, but they're more and more starting to, but a lot of them do, and all the new ones do for the most part. The ability to jump around, the ability that when you fuck up and die, you get right back into the game. Like, Unsighted does not have quick resume, which sucks, because I love this game, and I've been so distracted with new games that I need to get back to it, and if it was on quick resume, I would have. I haven't played this Indiana Jones The Emperor's Tomb game for about a month, and look at this. This is on quick resume. Oh, it got knocked out of quick resume. There's only so many that it'll fit, depending on the game. But yeah, regardless, though, so when you throw in Game Pass, then you have quick resume, the ability to jump between games. You have death being almost like whatever. You're right back into the game if your character dies. And then you have just a consistent... You have a consistent delivery of content multiple times, sometimes a week. And sometimes those games are really big, like, you know, Forza or Halo or whatever, Psychonauts Day 1. And sometimes they're, you know, Dandy Ace, Ring of Pain. I don't know what the fuck that is. Forgotten City, I hear, is great. I've never fucking played it, though, right? But there's always something new. These just dropped onto Game Pass. Some of them I've heard of, some I haven't. Unpacking's a brilliant game. Now, again, you know, I get it. Not everybody's into smaller indie games, but I love games in general. Like, Unpacking's one of my favorite games of the year, and it was made by 4 people compared to how many people made Forza. So, for me, it scratches that itch. I get novelty and newness multiple times a week, jumping between games super fast, death, right back into the game. is also super fucking fast, right? So for me, this has kept me gaming more than I have in a very, very long time. Now I want to show you PlayStation. I'm not knocking PlayStation. Here's the tricky part about this, right? If you have the means and you consider yourself, you know, a hardcore gamer, whether it means you're good or you just play a lot like me, ideally, if you have the means, you should get both, because they really do, for the first time in probably my entire life, going back to being a kid, looking at like Intellivision versus Atari, they offer such different experiences. I think the Sony first-party games are obviously second to none, but they feel... PlayStation 5, for me, feels more like, you know, going out to like one of those really nice movie theaters. Like in town, we have them. They're called Cinépolis here. I don't know what they're called where you are. You know, with the reserved seats and the waiters come to your table and it's all very hoity-toity. That's what you get, at least from my experience playing PlayStation 5. You get some of the very best games ever made, 2 to 4 a year, just brilliant fucking games. Death Stranding is great. Days Gone is great. Ghost of Tsushima, I can't wait for the upgrade, or not the upgrade, but the new one, which I know they're making, of course. Xbox has brilliant games as well at times, but they're not... Their first-party sort of narrative-based games are not able to be touched by Microsoft right now. And maybe they will be, but right now they're not. And so the only place to play these sort of top-of-the-food chain production value narrative-based games is here on Sony, and you should play them because they're fucking brilliant. But like going out to the highfalutin cinema, that's this. But Xbox, with all those features I talked about, is more like having Netflix, right? And I simply use Netflix more than I go out to even before pandemic, than I go out to the fancy smancy movie theaters. It's a better deal. It's a better value. It's easier. And people say, yeah, but Netflix has crap. Netflix does have some crap. Game Pass has some crap. PS Now has some crap. But the frequency of drops mixed with the fact that a lot of what they have is not crap, it's amazing, is enough to make me go, I'm very satisfied with, so far, the curation of what is on Game Pass, especially if you compare that to PS Now. But I want to show you where I do think PlayStation is better. Let me load up. I have Guardians running right now. Which is a great fucking game. You know, there's no doubt that the controller is better. I don't think the haptic feedback thing is one of those things that is like, you only miss it if you have a direct comparison. It kind of reminds me of going into back in the day, a big box electronics store. And if you looked at like the super nice TV next to a good TV, but it wasn't the best of brand, you'd go, oh, well, of course I want to spend the extra $4,000 on the super nice one. But the trick was, if you turned off the super nice one and you just looked at the good one, you'd go, oh, well, that's more than good enough, right? The haptics are awesome in this, and the vibration is awesome in this, and you absolutely appreciate it in a lot of games when it's there. But when you're not worrying about it or thinking about what you're missing, I'm playing Forza, and would Forza 5 Horizon be better or cooler with haptics? Absolutely. But it's not enough to sort of tilt the tide. But it's a great fucking controller, there's no doubt. But yeah, I'm playing Guardians, and let's load up Death Stranding. Now, what I find is, because these guys do not have quick resume, the time to get back into the game from game to game to game, it feels a little bit longer. That one was pretty good though. But watch this. Let's go to Days Gone. I mean, it's game dependent. But so we'll go from Death Stranding to Days Gone, and then I want to load up Dark Souls, Demon Souls, because I want to show you something that PlayStation absolutely does better. So this one seems to take a little bit longer. I don't know how much of that is on the front end from the developer, but ultimately, regardless of what it is, it's mostly longer. And when you have quick resume, you don't have to go through all this opening stuff, right? Now, again, clearly Death Stranding was optimized. Let's pick another PS5 game instead of a PS4 upgrade. And let's just check it out real quick. This is ridiculous. I mean, and you get used to it. And one of the reasons why I don't really highly recommend Switch. I haven't been thrilled with the first party software on this generation, even though I very much love Nintendo. But also, once you get used to the speed of loading on PS5 and or Xbox Series X, to go back on Switch, the Switch for ADD folks is great because you can take it anywhere and you can play whenever. But the fact that if you want to change a game, it's like this kind of load. And you're like, oh, once you get spoiled. Once you get spoiled, that's it. This is stupid. Okay, so let's load up one that is. All right, we're in. It's a great fucking game. I need to go back and finish this fucking game. It's so good. Okay, so let's load up a game that is more. Let's do Hot Wheels, right? Hot Wheels is a game that's built for. Well, we just do Guardians. We'll do Guardians. Let's see. I mean, Guardians is fast, but Guardians is not as fast as jumping in quick resume, right? You go through all this shit. And that may be something that developers, at least PS5, maybe they start requesting from their developers is, hey, we don't have quick resume, so can we skip this shit? Like, I remember there was supposed to be something that said once you've run it once and seen all this becomes skippable, but maybe that's a setting somewhere. Because, trust me, I've been playing Guardians for a while. This shit is not skippable unless, I'm hitting every button. I'm not sure what else I should hit. So, right, so you see what I'm saying. But let me show you, let me show you where PS5, when it comes to sort of ADD-friendly tools, absolutely is better. It's not much better, and they both get the job done. But Demon's Souls, for example, I would have never played Demon's Souls if it didn't have this frequency this speediness that it brings you back to life. Because when I played Bloodborne and I would die, I wasn't demoralized, but I was so, I don't really know why I died. I don't want to work my way to get all the way back to that guy. And after the load time of like 30, 40, 50 seconds, I'm done. Now, but this, and you've seen this before, but this is what I love about both of the new systems is this, it really does make you, or allows you to, for me anyway, and this may be specific to ADD stuff, but it really does allow you or motivate you to stick with genres and types of games that you would have given up in the past. Simply because I haven't played this in like months. I've forgotten everything. Let me get myself killed real quick. What's the run button? Okay. I mean, literally, I really love this game. But is it X or square? I know, or circle? What the fuck am I doing? There we go. Great fucking game. But I'm just going to let myself get killed, which even if I wasn't trying to get killed, trust me, it won't take long. It's a good game. Great game. Oh no, I'm dying. No, I must fight. I must succeed. Oh no. And there she goes, okay? All right, now watch this. It's like, oh yeah, okay, fuck it. I don't want to wait for a load time. Oh, there's no load time, my friend. You are back in the game, right? That's a little bit quicker than what you see on Xbox. But again, it's negligible at that point, right? But anyway, so really, for me, going back to sort of the point of this is like if you have ADD, like I do, and that may, your mileage will vary. Your mileage may vary, and that's great. But I can tell you the reason, like I said, I started this video off thinking I'll just kind of say I've had both these systems for a year. Let me just make a claim. This is the one I like the most right now. And not, it is true, but it's dorky. Oh, anything you get is great. Everybody wins competition. I know. And that's true. But ultimately, there's nothing wrong with picking your favorites. And right now my favorite is the Xbox. But I would say if I was neurotypical like a lot of y'all are, because let's be honest, anybody who has ADD has not watched this whole fucking video. They checked out after they scrubbed through it and got the gist, and they're on with their fucking lives. Most people anyway. But if I was neurotypical, it would be maybe a harder decision for me. But between Game Pass and the frequency and the speed with which you can move around games and then come back to life in a game you die, my gaming experience has been so much better this year by having both of these systems, but specifically the Xbox Series X, that if somebody came to me and said, I have ADD, what should I get? If the things that I'm mentioning in this video are of value to you, I would go that all the way. Unless, of course, you just have to play the greatest first-party games and just be okay with the fact that, you know, there's not a lot of them. You're going to get 2 to 5 a year. And out of those 5, there may only be 2 or 3 that you like that are for you. So, like, Gran Turismo 7's coming out. I don't give a fuck about that game. Or I might. But on Game Pass, I probably wouldn't have bought Forza Horizon. But the fact that it was on Game Pass, and then the fact that when you fuck up a race, you're right back in it, and the fact that when I get a little frustrated, I can jump to something else and then back to it, that's a pretty sticky way to allow a player to sort of fall in love with a game. Whereas Gran Turismo 7, I'm not even going to look at because it's too simmy, it's too hardcore. I got to pay $70 to get it. No, I'm done. Versus $15 for you know my point. So all right, I hope you're well, ADD folks. I recommend the Xbox Series X. PS5 is great too though, and I will see you guys soon.